I've been on this bent lately. You guys may have seen some of the videos I put out about sustainability in real estate and our careers because it's the number one problem in our industry. People just are not able to put together careers that last very long. And it's not always because they're not successful in sales, but oftentimes they burn out because they just don't have a plan. So I'm going to make this pretty quick, go through 9 items that, oh yeah, before I get there, this is my favorite quote from Warren Buffett. Only when the tide goes out do you discover who has been swimming naked. There's some naked people out in the ocean right now that the tide has gone out in our market. But that's one of my favorites. So yeah, here today, gone tomorrow. I've only been in the industry 13 years. There's people in the room that have been in the industry a lot longer. But I've seen a kind of a shocking amount of agents come and go, and companies come and go. And companies that were perennial top 3, top 5 brokerages that don't exist anymore. And agents that were doing 20, 30 deals a year just like 4 years ago that are gone. In fact, I just kind of stumbled across this guy's profile the other day. And I won't say his name, but he was really a rising star in our industry 4 years ago and was doing like 35 deals a year. And he's working at like T-Mobile and has a pretty rough life. Like just scrolling through his feed, it was pretty obvious that he was really struggling. And it shocked me, because last time I met this guy, he was just like this young, energetic dude that was making a couple $100,000 a year, and now he's out, and the reality is that's pretty common in our industry. People can put together a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, but things fall apart pretty quickly after that. And I think what's maybe even more sad is the people that are in the business for 10 to 15 years, but they hate it and they're miserable and they work with clients that they don't like, but they don't have enough clients to fire the clients that they don't want to work with, and they just feel trapped. So there's several things that play into this, but it's pretty shocking to see how many people, and as you guys stick around the industry longer, and those of you that have been in the industry know this, and just start paying attention, like the people and how quickly they get cycled out. It's pretty shocking. So I want to go through 9 items. I think there's 9. Oh, yeah, keep going. Number 1. Lifelong obsession over discovering and living your calling. I did a talk about this a couple months ago, and that's number 1 for a reason. Because if you don't figure out why you're doing this and what your purpose is, and maybe even eventually what your calling is, it just doesn't last very long, you guys. It can be a very shallow, hollow business. Because after you make some success, you close some deals, you make some money, most of us are looking for a little bit more than that. And you can only sell so many 3-2, 1,100 square feet houses with the exact same floor plan before it gets a little old, right? And I almost think some people in real estate are afraid to say this. There's nothing wrong with this industry being a vehicle for you to do other things. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's like if you want to go from A to B and use a vehicle to get there, the point is to get to B. And the vehicle is just something to use. And that's fine if that's real estate for you. And for a lot of us it is. The be all and end all is not doing a million transactions. We want to create wealth, we want to create abundance, we want to create something that we can take in another business or another investment, right? But the point is you have to be just obsessed with figuring out what that is for you, what that calling is for you. Maybe it's helping people, maybe it's coaching people, maybe it's selling luxury properties, maybe it's moving into commercial real estate, maybe it's investing, whatever. But you have to figure that out. Otherwise, this industry will just burn you out. And that's what happens to a lot of people, you guys. They just get burned out. And they don't really identify why they're doing it. And if you don't know why you're doing it, eventually, well, I'm going to do something else. So let's go to number 2. Build and continue to evolve a strategic plan. And a couple things that are really important. Continue to evolve is really important, because as you get more information, as you learn, as you develop, as you change, your goals and objectives will shift. I use the word strategic for a purpose. You guys, one of the biggest problems with agents is they're tactical and they're not strategic. It's just like our industry. Everybody's just trying to get to the next deal, the next deal, the next deal, the next deal, the next deal. And they get clients in front of them, and they're so obsessed with client services, which those are important, but they're so obsessed with those that they're never strategic. What does strategic mean? Like building a staging company for your business, Hiring an admin that can save your life and save your time, as Mike T was talking about. Right? Going and getting a certification or some kind of specialized education that ties in with a marketing program or a marketing plan for you to go be an expert in a certain demographic. Like, strategic is something that adds enterprise value to your business that will last for years. And there's many, many examples of that. But we often just don't slow down and do it, and we fall prey to the tyranny of the urgent and the phone call and the text and the email, and we never build these assets, and we never build the strategic plan for ourselves. This can be one page. One page of just where you want to go, what you want to do, how you're going to set yourself apart from the competition, right? And how are you going to build a business and not just be a salesperson. Let's go to the next one. And never stop learning. You can never, ever, ever stop learning. You know, I like to think of myself as a student of the industry, and I don't know shit. Like, there's just, every day I learn how much I do not know. And for me, number one red flag of people that I don't want to be around is they think they know it all. Right? I don't want to be around those people because they're not growing. Right? Because as soon as you think you know it all, what are you not doing? You're not learning. So you have to continually learn. Number 4, focus on what you can control. Somebody in the panel was just talking about this. How many of you have been in an argument with another agent in the last week?
Go ahead and raise your hands. I already know about it.
You guys, I see agents drive themselves nuts with this stuff that they can't control. You don't control other agents. You don't control the market. You don't control your client. You don't control the lender. You don't control the title company. The agents literally drive themselves insane trying to argue and convince and threaten and whatever other people to do what they want them to do. And the reality is that you just don't control those things. And I see agents waste hundreds of hours as the months go by. And they're stressed, and they don't really like the business, and their quality of life goes down. They're getting arguments with agents all the time. It's like, that's not the way, right? Yeah, it's. I've never convinced an agent to do anything that I was doing a transaction with, ever. And if you try to argue with them, it's just going to get worse. So focusing on what you control, which is not the market, agents, or your clients. You know, yeah, you can coach them, you can advise them, you can give them your best information, but they're going to make their own decisions, not you. And I hope that for a lot of you that's freeing, because it should be. You need to focus on the things that you can control, not other people. And the business will get so much easier for you if you focus on that, and a lot less stressful. Arguing with other agents you're doing deals with, you guys, is the biggest effing waste of time ever. Like, it never works, ever. But we do it all the time, so I don't know. What's the next one? Yeah, investing in yourself. I think investing in yourself first. I believe in that. I'm very passionate about that. You know, your education, your skills. You got to invest in yourself first. I've talked about the 4 pillars of success in real estate, and number 1 is personal development, because it affects everything else. And then invest in your business. Right? You have to invest in your business. And most people don't. Sad fact. When somebody says, like, treat your business like a business, this is one of the areas that agents fall short often. Right? Is they're not rolling their commissions back into marketing, back into prospecting, back into their website, an admin, whatever that happens to be. They don't reinvest back into their business. That's something that Matt does and his team does better than anybody I've ever seen. That's one of the biggest secrets to his success, is from day one, he was rolling money back into his business. Close the deal, invest in the business. Close the deal, invest in the business. But unfortunately, a lot of us don't do it. Let's keep going. Number 6. Oh, God. You guys, just do what you say you're going to do. This is like an epidemic right now. I can't get away from this. Like, it's so difficult to find people who will just do what they say they're going to do. And it goes from everybody. I mean, lenders, title, media people, photographers, and definitely us, agents. This is something that is so subtle in ways, and people lose deals and lose clients all the time because they don't do it. I'm going to send you a CMA tomorrow, and you don't do it. You send it the next day. Well, you just broke your promise. There's promises that you make all the time, every single day, and if you don't execute on those, you erode confidence, and people don't want to work with you. And you don't always know how someone's evaluating you and seeing if they can trust you based on just the little commitments that you make. The appointment's at 10, you show up at 10:05. You just broke your promise. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. It's amazing to me in our society right now how lost we are with this. It's like people just don't give a shit about their word anymore, and it doesn't matter. It does. It does. So be the person that you can be relied on, and clients can rely on you, lenders and title people can rely on you, everyone can rely on you, and they know that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. What's number 7? This one is from Coach Chris Peterson, and I have always loved it. Don't give counsel to your fears, the naysayers, or the unknown. Here's a fact, and I swear to God, you guys, this is a fact. When a real estate agent is thinking about a new marketing campaign or a new brand or something on their social media, maybe even a postcard, but some new marketing piece they're going to put out, do you know whose opinion they care about more than anyone else's? Other agents. Other agents. It is so jacked up. They obsess about what other agents are going to think about their brand and their marketing and their social media. They're not even thinking about their clients. Like, they're not thinking about the consumer at all. It's amazing when you start noticing that. It's like there's this whole world on social media where everyone's just doing stuff to impress the other agents out there. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, and obviously, people that are naysayers or don't believe in you and counsel of your own fears, will drag you down. Will push you backwards. Right? You can't progress forward if you're in fear. Right? So you got to figure out a way to live with courage and put that stuff beside or behind you. Let's go to the next one. You got to make decisions. You guys, the worst decision is what? No decision. You got to make decisions and learn from the consequences, good or bad. Right? But the worst thing you can do is just not make a decision. And this is hard. It's really hard. And it's a habit that you have to ingrain and practice again and again and again. But the worst thing is maybe, just wishy-washy, not a solid yes, not a solid no. If it's no, just tell me no. Just tell me no. I mean, you guys know this working with your clients, right? If it's no, just tell me no. Like, if you don't want the house, we'll go find another one. How frustrating is it when they won't give you those answers? And it's like, I don't know, maybe. Like, well, I got 10 other people that do know, so I'm going to go work with them. Right? You've got to make a decision. And if you guys if you're in leadership positions, if you're running teams, you're responsible for other people, man, this gets magnified by 10x, because people are looking at you to make a decision. And it's not always going to be the right one, but the worst thing you can do is nothing. It takes what it takes. That's something that I've gone back to so many times in my life. You guys, we worry so often when things are difficult. What do we worry? We worry, is it supposed to be this hard? Have you guys ever asked yourself that before? I mean, how many I have? Like, is it supposed to be this hard? It's a funny question. Like, who said it was supposed to? I mean, there's mythical people out here that are setting how long these things take. But this is what happens, you guys, and this is the road to quitting. Because the first thing we ask is it supposed to be this hard? And then we start comparing ourselves to other people and say, well, they did it in 3 years, or they did it in 5 years, or they did it in 1 year. It's been taking me 7, so I suck, so I'm going to quit. People do that all the time. This idea of what something is supposed to take. You have to forget about that stuff. It just takes whatever the hell it takes. You just have to keep going. Everything is harder than you think it's going to be. Growing this goddamn company has been 10 times harder, 1,000 times harder than I ever thought it was going to be. Just brutal at times. But in my life, I've discovered that anything worth doing, anything you really want, anything that's worth accomplishing is going to be way harder than you think. So buckle up. It's going to be hard, right? So you just have to keep going. Sometimes the companies that win, the agents that win, are just the ones that outlast everyone else. A lot of commercial realtors right now are saying like, survive till 25, survive to 25 is what they're saying. Like just make it to 2025 because the next year and a half is gonna suck ass. Like they're just like, survive, make it, just last. Because of what I started this presentation with, most people don't. They don't. They do this. They quit. They say, this is not supposed to be this hard. Supposed to be. What a bunch of bullshit. You guys, like, you have no idea until you get into it how difficult it's going to be. But you'll find out how bad you want it because you're going to be tested. You just have to keep going and not quit. And if you want it bad enough and you don't quit, you'll get there. You'll get there, and it'll be rewarding, so rewarding for the journey. But that's something I see a lot of people get trapped in. It's not supposed to be this hard, so I must be doing something wrong. I better quit. Don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap. So you've got to have a purpose for what you do. The sooner you figure it out, the better. It's probably not selling CBH homes. Nothing wrong with Corey's product. It's a great product. But your purpose in life is probably not selling a 3-2, 1,100 square foot house in Nampa. That's probably not what you get out of bed for. You've got to figure that out. Because eventually you're going to get exhausted. You can only do so many deals and cash so many checks before you're looking for something more. Right? That is critical. You guys have questions? I got 2 minutes left. Look at that. Questions? I know.
When you do get one of those calls where somebody who's super angry, you don't want to get involved in it, how do you center yourself and make sure that you're staying where you want to be emotionally for that call?
Be nice. See, you can like actually ninja mind game trick other agents. Like, just be nice. Just be nice and figure out how to, a lot of times they have a difficult client. And those of you who had a difficult client, I've had plenty of them, know. You know, and sometimes you can kind of tell that their client's a pain in the ass. So just be nice and say, I've been there, it's hard, you know, I want to try to get something done. But the more you can just be nice to them and relate, you'll often find that they'll just be so relieved, they'll actually start telling you shit they shouldn't. It happens all the time because they're just stressed. You guys, people are just so stressed and they don't have any emotional intelligence. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just running around. Like, just be nice to these people. It's amazing what happens. But that's a good question.
So, Matt Boucher, my team, Casey Wilson, and I all went, hell no, we're never starting our own brokerage. Hell
Yeah,
no.
you're smart.
And you went, oh, but I am going to start my own brokerage. Taco. We have one of those outside later, but why did you take the exact opposite route than all of us?
Well, I was very interested and thought that I would be very passionate about growing a team, a larger team. I was very interested in what makes up culture and environment and teamwork and sort of crafting that. A lot of interest from day one in branding and marketing, you know, and I discovered as an agent that most people wanted professional services. You know, they do. Like, most people want that. Most people don't want a fly-by-night person that doesn't give a crap about their job. They want a professional. And that's how I was able to have success as an agent, is just being that professional and giving somebody consultative services and being more of an advisor to them. So I started looking around and I just didn't see a brokerage that was providing services for me. Like, there's nowhere for me to go, and I started talking to other agents, and I wasn't the only one that felt that way. You know, that there just wasn't a place like this. It didn't exist. So, like most arrogant, ignorant entrepreneurs, I thought I'd try to solve that problem. I mean, that's what entrepreneurs do, you guys. You know, they just like have a problem for themselves that they want to solve. I mean, that's how it usually starts, and then they figure out, you know, other people have the same problem, and away you go. But yeah, 10 years. It seems like 100 years. I don't know. I don't have a lot of gray hair yet, though, so that's good.
You don't get gray hair, you give gray hair.
Oh. You know, one of the things I was going to put on that list was if you're not pissing a few people off every once in a while, you're not doing something right. Because if you stand for anything in life, people are going to throw rocks at you. If you stand up for anything, they're going to shout at you to stand down. Like I was going to put it on there and I had to cut it because I had like 15 items and I wanted to get it down to 9. But that was actually one of them. So it's funny you say that. You know, if you want to build something great, if you want to build something different, get ready. Because there's going to be people that are going to try to tear it down, tear you down, criticize the way you run it, the decisions that you make. You know, you don't do it the way everyone else does. Who the hell do you think you are? It's tough, you know. So, yeah, I don't really care if they like me.
That's good.
Yeah. Hey, Joe. Joe. Wow. You're here.
For you.
Thank you.
Debbie asked them the panel if they had any regrets or what their regrets were. I'd be interested to hear. I'm sure there's plenty, but.
Well, from a brokerage standpoint, just taking too long. And specifically with hiring, not committing earlier to hiring more people, more talent. I don't know what I was waiting for in some instances. You know, until you get talent around you and people that are great in marketing and great in transaction management and great at supporting agents and coaching, it's just a grind. You know, the business is really tough until you get some talent around you. And I don't know, I just don't know what the hell I was waiting for. And I see that with agents all the time too. Like, people wait years to hire someone. You know, and their business, not only does their business, you guys, this is a tangent, but I'll make it a quick one. The reason why you should structure your business and leverage yourself with staff and systems and other people to help you is not so you can sell more real estate. I swear to God, this industry is so backwards. It is not so you can sell more real estate. It's so you don't lose your mind and quit 6.5 years in. That's why. Because you have to have help at some point. You cannot just do it yourself forever. You know, but the brokerage is the same thing. So I waited too long, you know, and a lot of us do. See, I was 2 minutes ahead, but they made me go over.